there is someone in your life who owes you an apology. Maybe it's your father. Maybe it's a brother. Maybe it's a friend who betrayed you, a partner who left without explanation, a boss who took credit for your work and never looked back. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Their face just appeared in your mind. And you have been waiting months, maybe years, maybe decades, waiting for them to come to you, to finally see what they did, to say the words that would let you put it down and move on. I'm 84 years old, and I need to tell you something about that apology. It's not coming, and even if it did, it wouldn't give you what you think it would. Let me tell you about a man named George. It was 1971. George was my business partner for 6 years. We built something real together, something that required trust and sacrifice and long nights and hard decisions. In 1971, George made a decision behind my back that cost me everything. A deal he made without telling me. A handshake he gave to someone else using what we had built together. I found out on a Tuesday morning. By Friday, the business was gone. I was 45 years old. I had a wife, 2 children, a mortgage, and nothing left. I called George. He didn't answer. I drove to his office. His secretary told me he wasn't available. I wrote him a letter. It came back unopened. George never apologized. Not that year, not the next year, not ever. And I spent the next 11 years waiting for him to. 11 years? Do you understand what that means? 11 years of replaying what he did. 11 years of imagining the conversation where he finally came to me and admitted what he had done. 11 years of keeping the wound open because closing it felt like letting him win. Eleanor used to say I kept George more alive in our house than any person who actually lived there. She was right. He was at our dinner table every night, not in person, in my head, in my anger, in the bitterness I carried into every room. While I was waiting for George to apologize, my children were growing up. My son Daniel had his first baseball game in 1972, and I was there in body, but nowhere near there in spirit. My daughter Catherine learned to ride a bicycle that same summer, and I missed the whole thing because I was on the phone trying to track down a lawyer who could help me go after George. George didn't cost me just the business. George cost me 1972 and 1973 and 1974 and every year after that until I finally understood something that changed everything. George was not keeping me prisoner. I was. The chain around my life was not in George's hands. It was in mine. I had fashioned it myself, link by link, every time I chose the resentment over the release. Every morning I woke up and picked up that anger was a morning I chose George over my own life. And here is the thing about resentment that nobody tells you. Resentment does not punish the person who hurt you. They are out there living their life, sleeping fine, eating fine, going about their days with no awareness of the fire you are tending on their behalf. Resentment only burns the person carrying it. I want you to think about what your resentment is costing you, not in abstract terms. Specifically, how many conversations have you half listened to because part of your mind was somewhere else, rehearsing what you would say if they ever came back? How many mornings have you woken up and felt the weight of it before your feet even hit the floor? How many times have you been in a room full of people who love you and felt alone because the person who hurt you was taking up all the space in your head? Add it up. Be honest, because that is the true cost of waiting for the apology. Now I need to tell you something important about forgiveness, because I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that forgiving them means what they did was acceptable, that letting go means they got away with it, that moving on is somehow a betrayal of how much it hurt. I understand that. I thought the same thing for 11 years. But forgiveness is not about them. It was never about them. Forgiveness is the decision you make for yourself, that you are no longer willing to let what they did determine the quality of your days. It is not saying what happened was fine. It is saying what happened is finished, and I am choosing to live in the present instead of the past. In 1982, I ran into George at a gas station in Cincinnati, 11 years later. He was older, heavier. He looked tired in the way that men look tired when they have been carrying things too. He saw me. I saw him. We stood there for a moment in the cold, and I made a decision in that moment that I had been unable to make for 11 years. I walked over to him. I extended my hand. I said, "George, it's been a long time." He shook my hand. His eyes were wet. He started to say something. I stopped him. I said, "George, it's done. Go home to your family." And I drove away. He never apologized. Not that day. Not ever. And it didn't matter anymore, because I had finally understood that I didn't need his apology to be free. I only needed my own decision, the decision to stop letting 1971 live rent-free in the middle of my only life. That gas station in Cincinnati gave me back more than George ever took from me. It gave me the rest of my life. So here is what I want you to do, not for them, for you. The first thing, say their name out loud right now, the person who owes you the apology. Say it, and then ask yourself honestly, how many days of your life they have already taken from you, not because of what they did, because of what you have done with what they did. The second thing, understand that waiting for the apology is a bet you are making with your own life. You are wagering your present against the possibility of a future moment that may never come. And even if it comes, it will not undo a single day of what you lost while you were waiting. That is the worst bet you will ever make. The third thing, make the decision not to forget, not to pretend it didn't happen, not to welcome them back into your life if that is not what you want, just to put it down, to stop carrying it, to stop letting their worst moment define your everyday. You do not need their apology to move forward. You never did. You only need to decide that your life is worth more than their debt. I lost 11 years to George. 11 years I will never get back. My children grew up in those years. My marriage either deepened or suffered in those years. My health was either built or eroded in those years. And George never knew. He never felt any of it. He was just a man at a gas station in Cincinnati who looked tired. The suffering was entirely mine. Don't give them 11 years. Don't give them 11 months. Don't give them another single day. The apology is not coming, and you don't need it. Put it down and go live your life.